It was time to go mobile, Julian. Welcome to Hungover Podcast, where this week we're brought to you by my car.
Hey.
Yes, that's right, my car.
We are in a car, so we apologize if audio's getting all wonky and shit.
And the video's a little bumpy.
And the video's bumpy, but we thought we'd do one because I'm visiting Yvonne in Buffalo and in Syracuse, because we're halfway between now.
Yes, we're somewhere between the two.
I originally wanted to come up here to help Yvonne build his computer, but that sort of went to shit, as you'll see halfway through the video, and then Yvonne just picks up.
Yeah.
The motherboard was fried, essentially, as it came in, and it's bringing up, a touchy subject right now, so we probably shouldn't talk about it anymore, but
all I wanted was a functioning computer!
We went out to Yvonne's dad's place for a holiday party in Buffalo, and now we're driving back to Syracuse so I can catch a bus. So I can go back home and use my computer. Goddamn. So we decided to film a podcast halfway through. I'm not sure what the exact topic is right now, but
we're just gonna roll with it. So settle in, strap on. This is a bit of a different kind of podcast, but we'll get into what we usually do at the beginning of the podcast and say thanks for checking this out on iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud. If you would like to leave a little bit of a review on the iTunes, it would help us greatly, but maybe you want to check out the podcast first before you do any of that. In any case, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that, but leave a comment if you like this format. We'll check it out by the end of the video. And as always, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Julian, we start this podcast with a small segment in which we're doing what do we consume this week.
And hey, Yvonne, I have not really done. Well, when did we last record a podcast?
Wednesday, I think.
Wednesday, yeah. It's currently Sunday, so as of that day, I guess I haven't really consumed that much media. I think I watched a couple episodes of Archer. I'm still catching up on that. And I played on the way up. I played a lot of Stardew Valley because it's a 5-hour bus ride.
It's
the
a long
Nintendo
bus
Switch is amazing for that very reason. I played a lot of Stardew Valley. I'm still in spring of year 2, 30 hours in. The game is just so addicting. It's so relaxing too. The music in that game is really great. So it's kind of bad to play on like an airplane ride or a bus ride because it'll just put you to sleep.
No, you're like transported. It's like instant teleportation.
It's kind of weird to say that a game is putting you to sleep, but it's really in a soothing way. It's not because it's boring. The game is actually really entertaining, and I'm getting much better at it. I'm definitely catching up to reading up on all the forums. There's a lot of shit you can do, and if you do it correctly, you can really optimize your farm and make a lot of money. I love farming games, apparently.
Man, you love optimization. That's
optimization
what you love.
is what I really love. I played a Stardew Valley. I played a little Zelda Ballad of the Champions, which is the new DLC that came out for the Legend of Zelda.
How is it?
Breath of the Wild. I mean, they basically just added more shrines to the game. I think a lot of people were clamoring for more story, more of a story-related thing, and they wanted something a little more epic. But I mean, honestly, I can't really complain. They added more shrines and more things to do, more puzzles, more day-to-day gameplay for Zelda. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Is there more story to explore? I mean, isn't the whole thing is that you have to fight Ganondorf?
Yeah.
Is there more to explore once you defeated Ganondorf?
I think people were thinking that this was going to be more of a flashback segment where you figure out a little more of the backstory behind the 4 champions in the game. But as far as I can tell, that's not relevant. But I could be wrong because I haven't beat it yet. I'm currently just doing the shrine stuff. I'm not sure what's after they added 3 shrines. So I think they added about 20 shrines, if I'm not mistaken, which is a lot. That's pretty crazy. And there's some of the best shrines in the game. I played the first 2 or 3 of them, and they were like crazy puzzles already. Really complex stuff. So I definitely would go check that out if you have Zelda and didn't get the expansion pass. I think it's worth buying. It's $20. You get the first expansion as well, or the first DLC as well, which was pretty entertaining. You get to power up the Master Sword through a like horde mode situation in Zelda. It was actually really well done. And you get a more powerful weapon at the end, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. And then I played a little bit of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 on the bus as well, because I'm trying to get to Chapter 3, where this already very curvy and bodacious character in a Japanese RPG becomes apparently an even more curvy and bodacious character in Chapter 3, apparently, allegedly. But I'm still really liking that game because it's an RPG, and it's a JRPG at that, so...
It sounds like a fun game.
Stuff. And, yeah, I mean, I drank a couple... We had a... What did we have last night?
We had a Grenache.
Grenache and
maybe a little bit of a Syrah. And I don't actually know what the other one was.
Yeah, I noticed your dad had lipstick on that whole night from the red wine.
It was a good time had by all.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for inviting me. But, well, and that's what I did. What sort of media have you been consuming this week?
An excellent question. So I got into, in terms of video games, I got into some Overwatch free-for-all.
Yeah, FFA.
So I've been watching some episodes of this funhouse show called Esports Ejects, in which case it was like a few seasons ago, and they played competitive matches together after work. And I was like, man, I really love Overwatch, because just watching, Overwatch in the back in the day days.
Back in the day.
It was a lot of fun. So I got back into it, but I don't like playing competitive without you, Julian.
Yeah, well, sorry.
And I didn't have my computer set up, so I couldn't do that.
Well, you wouldn't have been able to anyways. You had to level up to 25. But at least we have fun playing.
Yeah. So I got into some free-for-all, which is a totally different style of play. It's kind of like COD meets Overwatch. And it's a little worse for it, but you get to play some of the characters that just don't work if you're in a team battle. Like, Doomfist is a very difficult character to play effectively. But in free-for-all, you can rack up a bunch of kills because you just hold down L2 and smash a squishy character against the wall.
Yeah,
and you're super good. I also finished top 3 the other night playing with Ana, which I think is hard mode.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Because Ana's nano boost is ineffective.
And you literally have to use all of your abilities to kill someone. Basically. To kill in a 1-on-1 fight.
Yeah. So, but that's been fun. I've also wanted to recently check out, we just downloaded, but I haven't gotten to play yet, Wolfenstein 2. So hopefully we'll get a video up on Wolfenstein 2. I know it's definitely late since DLC is already out, but it looks like a cool game, and I haven't seen a lot of gameplay footage from it actually, so who knows.
That's good. Don't spoil yourself. A lot of Nazis are in it though. That's so
awesome. I just want to kill the Nazis. I think that's the only thing there are 2 kinds of beings that it's okay to kill, as far as I know. It's Nazis from World War II and zombies.
Oh, yeah.
And the best, according to Call of Duty, is when you can kill both.
Yes, so that's the next game we need to get.
Yeah. In terms of movies, TV, I've been checking out. I talked about High Maintenance, right? But I also started watching Making a Murderer. I'd never seen it before.
Okay.
So I'm a couple episodes in there. And I also watched a really cool... So there's a documentary that was just put up on Netflix, I think. It's called The Voyeur. It's a crazy documentary. So Gay Talese is a news reporter who wrote several books, including Thy Neighbor's Wife and He wrote the seminal story about like a kind of a biography piece on a celebrity. So Sinatra Has a Cold.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
No.
So it's kind of like new journalism. You kind of insert yourself into the story. You kind of don't. It's a more literary writing of an article of news journalism. And so Gay Talese is this big hotshot who's older now. He's in his like 80s, I think.
Yeah.
But way back when, he met this guy who owned a motel in Colorado, and the guy made voyeur holes to look into each of the rooms. So it was a very high-pitched ceiling, so he could walk above all of the rooms and look into them and watch them while they're having sex or just eating or just watching TV.
Okay.
Yeah. So he called himself the voyeur, and he noted daily what he was watching in third person often. And so this documentary follows Gay Talese as he's writing this story for The New Yorker and then for a book and getting it published. And it also has interviews with the voyeur himself. George Foos, I think is his name. These bumps are going to be great for audio.
Yeah.
But in any case, it's a really fascinating look at both Gay Talese and the voyeur and how they look at themselves, how they view themselves, especially in a modern technological world, and how journalism has changed and all this stuff. It's a really cool documentary. I highly recommend it.
Okay.
And yeah, we drank the same thing, so that's that.
I also forgot, I rewatched the movie Shaolin Soccer because I'm on my way to delving into Cantonese media, so I want to try to learn Cantonese as well. So that's what I've been forcing my girlfriend to do with me every Thursday, is watch a Hong Kong movie. So
nice.
But yeah, so I can learn the language. But yeah, that was pretty fun. That movie is really awesome. If you haven't seen it, it's about basically these this band of brothers that are Shaolin monks, or they were raised as Shaolin monks, but now they've all become just, regular people in Hong Kong. And their brother, the main character, Stephen Chow, that he plays, that the actor's name is Stephen Chow. He plays like this very eccentric character that's trying to gather everyone together to play on a soccer team because he's really poor and wants to be a famous soccer star. And so they essentially just use their kung fu. Once they gain their powers back and learn how to play soccer, they use their kung fu to play soccer, and it's a really great movie. It's obviously a comedy. Yeah, that movie's real fun. You should go check it out. It's on Amazon.
Yes, and better than the basketball kung fu movie we watched.
Oh yeah, what is that movie called?
I forget. It was still on Netflix, I think.
It wasn't. It's not made by the same guy, but that guy did make Kung Fu Hustle, which is the next movie I'm gonna watch.
That's a good
week.
movie.
Yeah, I love that movie. So I'm really excited to see it again. Oh man, I love those movies. Yeah, Avant, I feel like we should move into whatever the topic of the show is. I feel like we were going to talk a little bit about road trips that we've had in the past, considering we're currently on one, technically.
Road trip!
But we might intersplice some Dark Knight talk, because we've been talking a lot about Batman. It's just classic Avant and Julian banter, is to just bring up the Dark Knight, and we feel right at home.
Yes, and yesterday... So, I think I own the Dark Knight in like 6 different forms.
Why not?
I have the Blu-ray, the other thing, but I don't have it on electronic, like on a streaming thing, other than on iTunes. So we were watching The Dark Knight Rises yesterday.
Yes. Which is a criminally underrated movie.
It is an underrated
film. Fuck all the haters. That movie's great.
I think it didn't live up to the hype of The Dark Knight, but I don't think that anything really could.
Nothing can live up to that movie.
The Dark Knight is it's not, here's the thing about The Dark Knight. It's not just the best comic book movie of the Batman series. It's the best comic book movie that's ever been made.
And will ever be made. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think that in this like studio heavy-handed era will ever get anything that is quite as unique as The Dark Knight.
It's true. Off the beaten path, definitely. Definitely also paved the way, and I think everyone's been trying to emulate it as well. Particularly, what's his name's Joker?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. I actually didn't see Suicide Squad, but from what I heard,
Oscar-winning movie, Suicide Squad.
So was The Dark Knight, wasn't it, or it was nominated?
The Dark Knight, I think it was nominated at least.
It was nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, Heath Ledger won for Best Supporting Actor. Yeah, definitely. So it's an Oscar-winning movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad. But yeah, that movie is really amazing. Rip. That movie was absolutely amazing. I think now Disney acquiring Fox, 20th Century Fox Studios. Is that what you would call them?
Sure, it's their TV and movie entertainment divisions, yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. I'm glad the X-Men could finally be brought back to the Marvel Universe. But I think that might be the only thing that can come out of it. And now everything's going... I think a lot of people have been voicing their opinions about this. Everything's going to turn into a high-budget, high-production comic book remake movie. And there's going to be no room for original screenplays or anything of that sort. And it's just going to be a Marvel Star Wars bonanza of sorts, which to a certain extent is great. I'm glad these movies are becoming so popular, and finally the nerds can come out of their goddamn mom's basement and actually enjoy the sunshine going to the movie theater.
Yeah, but now everybody claims they're a nerd.
Yeah, and now
if you use a computer, you're a nerd. But that's not right. That's not true.
Yeah, yes. I know. Now it's cool to be a nerd.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. It's like, it's cool to be a nerd, but everybody who used to beat nerds up claims that they're a nerd just because they can use a cell phone.
Right, yeah, which everyone already has, so fuck you, get out of here. We don't want you to tarnish our goddamn pride, alright? We have pride now because it's cool to be a nerd.
Yeah, but there are things that are nerds, like, you're not a nerd for knowing a character from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sorry. Almost everybody's
seen Star Wars. You're a nerd if you know the expanded universe, though. That's for sure.
Yes.
Which you do.
Yeah. Well,
I know Dash Rendo.
I
read that book.
Occasionally, if I really need to, I can recall the names of the Jedi from the Jedi Council.
What's Yaddle? That's the female Yoda.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Oh my god. And then what's the android bounty hunter? IG-38 or something? It has a whole backstory. It has 5 seconds of screen time, and someone spent a year of their life writing a backstory for this character. And half the
awesome.
Characters on the screen.
But that's what makes Star Wars great, right?
No, yeah, absolutely. It's the expanded universe.
Yeah, it's a bigger world than what we see on the screen, and that's kind of what we fell in love with, I think. And I think that ties in with The Dark Knight, really, because it's not like an expanded universe where you can go throughout the entire galaxy, but it feels like a lived-in world with real characters, with real problems, and dialogue that doesn't make you want to puke.
Oh, yeah.
And unlike a lot of Nolan films where he's given free hand to design and create his own movie, I think The Dark Knight was a little bit more reined in.
Yeah, definitely.
The Dark Knight Rises is definitely a little crazy, but it's also a comic book movie, so it kind of fits, with the whole ideology of how Nolan creates a film and making it more complex where it needs to be more simple.
Yeah, fucking turning a plane vertical while it's strapped to another plane.
It's one of the best cold opens ever.
Yeah, I feel like, though, it was sort of similar. He used the same tactic as opening The Dark Knight. in The Dark Knight Rises.
That's
just
true. But the Dark Knight opening is one of the...
No, absolutely. It was so successful that he did it again.
But he was like, I have more money now.
Or third movie. Yeah, so I can do it in the air. That's awesome. But no,
also,
I still like
how does it make sense to put the guy's blood into the veins? Like, there's other DNA markers,
I know.
right?
Well, not in Gotham, which apparently they were not in. They're not in Gotham. So, in this Batman universe, it makes sense. They don't have that technology, right? They can't figure
Greatest
it out.
goddamn detective.
God damn it. Oh, man. But, I mean, I guess moving away from our obvious rants about Disney acquiring everything under the sun.
And it's, well,
we could go on. Well, you know, let's just make that the topic.
Yeah,
we gotta talk about
it. The one thing I want to say is, like, there's been this squeeze out of middle budget movies for a while now, right?
Yeah.
So you get...
Just like in video games.
Small...
Indie films.
You get the small games that are built by, like, 3 people. You get the small movies that are on, like, $10 million budgets, like Get Out.
Uh-huh.
And then or Split, I think, was a really low budget film. And then you get these $1 billion projects. But the middle territory for those great movies that, you know, they're just designed to be an exploration of the human soul instead of something interesting that a movie format can present that other things can't.
Yeah.
It's a rather annoying concept to have, to not be able to have that movie, and it's an ever-shrinking landscape. And I think Disney acquiring production houses is worse, because Disney has this idea that they need to make X amount of revenue based on a project, and to make X amount of revenue, it's got to be a big revenue maker. Like, this was the thing with Battlefront 2, right?
Right.
We just saw Battlefront 2 was on 40% sale right now because nobody bought it.
$23 or so. Yeah, it was very cheap, surprisingly, and it came out a month ago at most, I think. Yeah,
and it's just like, how long can EA hold on to that licensing or whatever the contract is if they don't live up to the expectations of Disney product revenue?
Yeah,
especially with a brand like Star Wars.
I'm surprised they screwed it up. I mean, it's a Star Wars game. Just had to make it fun to play, which apparently it is. Sorry, I might sneeze. Okay, yeah. Which apparently it's still, I mean, Star Wars Battlefront 1 was pretty fun to play. It was also really, I mean, it was jaw-dropping in how good it looked, I thought. And
Battlefront
authentic.
2 is really a pretty game. Yeah. It's unfortunate. I'll take back a little bit of the hot takes that I've had with developers and DICE. So I'll say that they created a beautiful game that is fun to play, and it has an intriguing thing where you don't have to run to the back of the battlefield to pick up the, the turning into Luke Skywalker token. Right. Because now the better you do in the game, the more you get in terms of rewards. But it's just a complicated process, I think, in terms of balancing out how you're going to pay for things and how you need to create revenue-generating things.
Right. I mean, it's sort of like how our economy in America is going to be panning out in the next couple of years. This is sort of just how things are working in America. So I guess it's not in terms of the large companies getting larger and the middle of the backbone of society is falling out, and there's only going to be one brand of product out there now, and you're just going to have to deal with it because they have the monopoly, essentially. It's sort of what's going to be implemented, which we just talked about. We went over taxes last week, I believe.
And this is the same thing that could happen with net neutrality.
Right, exactly. We're just being more and more of our control is being taken away from us. And this is even bleeding into our media now because of Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox. This is just the first step. This is obviously Disney. You know what? Disney's first step was buying Marvel and Star Wars. it sounded great because they finally brought Star Wars back, and I'm sure The Last Jedi was amazing, and I can't wait to see it. Sorry, that's Yvonne's phone. But and I loved the Episode 7. I mean, we've talked about it before. I think I almost cried in theaters. I think it was amazing. But that sort of brand is what Disney puts out, and they put a lot of money behind it. But you'll see more and more things like them putting money behind EA, and they're just trying to nickel and dime us for more money, even though we paid I didn't pay, but even though you paid $60 to get the game. So that's just, I mean, everyone shat on EA, and sure, they had to roll everything back, so we still have that sort of control.
Before the game came out, they cut the price of the heroes by like 75%.
So right, we still have that sort, but the thing was, they showed their intent.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's how it is now is to be seen. They're gonna put loot boxes back in and put that economy back in. It doesn't matter, even though it's out of the game currently. But it's gonna be put back in next year, I assure you. But they've showed their intent, and Disney backs that company and gave them the creative licensing to Star Wars. But I'm sure Disney had some sort of idea, I don't know, has some sort of control over that. I like the idea that Disney, they're like, EA, go make this game. Sure, it'll be great, whatever, you made the first one. And they don't even pay attention. They put out the beta, and everyone complains, and then Mr. Disney picks up the phone and says, shut this shit down. I think that's a funny image, but you're tarnishing my name. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I think that it's something like that, but I also think even more nefarious than that, it could be that, so let's say if you're in the corporate room, and you're like, shit, we signed this licensing deal with Disney to get the Star Wars name, and we have to make revenue back to ensure success with this license, because it's an expensive license. Who knows how to set the prices on these characters? So let's jack them up as high as we can. As soon as we get an overwhelming number of complaints, we can lower it. We'll have that ready. But for the first people who come into it and start buying those things, we've got our whales. You know, it's just like that mobile game strategy.
Yes, it definitely is.
So I think they were ready to drop these prices, and I think they're the models for how to price out characters or loot boxes or different things. I don't think it's been explored. And the thing that really bothers me is that the most innovation that we've had in games isn't gameplay, it isn't graphics. The biggest innovations that we've been focused on in terms of gameplay is in revenue, microtransactions, things like that, at revenue generation on things. And that might also be because games are critically underpriced. They've been $60 for generations now, for decades. They've been the same price. So it's more money is being pumped into the creation of like AAA games, and they have to make the revenue back. But the question is, then why can't we have niche middle tier games that don't require that level of development, but can turn around and turn a nice budget profit and be innovative, be creative? Well, I think that's kind of where houses like Nintendo, right? They're focused on making revenue, and they don't have these sweeping big budgets. I don't think that Mario Odyssey had the same budget that, let's say, GTA 5 even had.
Definitely not.
So, but Nintendo this year has been recognized for how many games of the year in different categories. Right. There's Zelda, there's Mario Odyssey. It's a ridiculous thing to think that you have to pump these big budgets in to get these games that are going to outsell everybody else. We don't need the Call of Duty of games. We can have Titanfall, the original one, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing sort of the backlash against that now, and I think there are people in the games industry, such as Ninja Theory, I think Team Ninja, that made Senua's Sacrifice, the Hellblade, which was a really or it appeared to be a very high budget game in terms of graphical fidelity and things like that, and gameplay, but it was a completely self-funded project by their team. And I think that I think I recall hearing on a Kind of Funny podcast, there's this new company, publishing company, that's going to sort of act as an incubator for these types of games that you're talking about. The AA game, which is the game that is higher budget than, say, an indie title that you would typically download on the Steam market or something like that, and they're sort of going to be publishing the game that comes out, the original game, but they're going to give the IP or not hold the IP as the publisher. They're going to give the company, the developer that made the game, they're going to have the full creative licensing and own the IP, which is where the real money is made, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think if this works out, then we'll see more and more companies like this, and we'll see higher budget indie titles that will come out, such as Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which was nominated for a lot of things in
and also
the year,
won a bunch of things.
Yeah, it was
at the Game Awards.
Supposed to be an amazing game. I'm sorry we never played it on our channel, but I fear it's too late for the views. God damn it.
Oh, wow.
No, we can check that out. Tell us in the comment section below if you want to see either of us play that game. I think we would both enjoy it because it looks like a really cool game. I think it's not nearly as bleak in the gaming universe, but I feel like it's getting pretty bleak in terms of other media.
Movies for sure have been squeezed out. But at the same time, you get really cool production houses like Blumhouse.
For now.
Which have,
but yes.
But Blumhouse put out two movies that were some of the best, 2 or 3 movies that were some of the best movies of the year. Like Get Out was a Blumhouse production, and was top of the box office, which is a crazy thing. Like a $9-10 million budget, and you become top of the box office. Right. I think Split was like that for a while. And I think they put out one more movie that was a pretty top-tier, respected movie. Of course, Blumhouse is a smaller production house that kind of specializes right now in horror films. Mm-hmm. But they're also doing high-concept indie flicks. And I just think it's interesting. I wouldn't say Get Out is a horror. I think it's a thriller. It's
definitely a thriller.
But it's definitely a higher concept movie.
Slightly comedic as well in certain parts.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's very funny.
I think we've reviewed Get Out on the channel.
Oh yeah, because I watched it on an airplane.
So
not the perfect way to watch it, of course.
Sometime way back when we reviewed it. Yeah, so this year it's an intriguing year because it feels like the pressures of the economy are such that the navigation and the flow of capital is making it so that middle tier houses are being squeezed out everywhere.
Right.
And so we get these small niche houses and these huge conglomerates that control and operate everything, and they're just going to control and operate more and more and more.
Right, yeah, this is, like I said, this is just the first step, so.
And this
is a large acquisition.
Under Trump's administration, the conservative ideology is we don't need safeguards to protect from this.
Yeah.
What's the point of having anti-monopoly laws?
Look, yeah, when you say you're in it for the small businesses, and then you just sort of completely lie to the American populace and sort of just shit on all of us, except for the rich people, obviously, then, I don't know. It's not looking so good, but that's why you need to go out and vote.
And you hit the open road, you go around people and you talk to the common people, and you just be like, hey, Joe, how's your day going? Oh, you're a plumber? Oh, not really a plumber, but you say you want to be a plumber if you could have been a plumber?
Why don't you work for the large plumbing company up the road?
Exactly.
You want to be an independent plumber? That's crazy. What are you doing? Start your own company. Get taxed out of your ass. Fucking shitbag.
Yeah, so the new tax bill was put out. It'll get voted on next week, like we were saying. So if this podcast comes out, it will have already been voted upon.
Yes.
Net neutrality was struck down this past week.
Yes. Disney acquired Fox.
It's been a tough week, I think.
I thought we could make it through December without getting shit on. But, we're fucked. It's all, I thought we saw it all this year. I thought, Trump was president for his first year, and he did a lot of crazy shit, but, we made it to December, and at least we could have, this one pocket of just enjoy your time, see your family, relax, celebrate the new year, and then hopefully things can get better.
Not an alleged pedophile.
Yeah. Oh shit. We did that too. God.
No.
I meant, but I thought you were. Trump was accused or being reaccused of sexually harassing. Obviously, he did.
I mean, yes, he's openly admitted to how he's done this.
Right. So it's been a crazy year, but it's still getting crazier. I think.
Did you see the USA Today? What they said about Trump?
No. What did USA Today say?
USA Today had an editorial that said Trump wasn't fit to scrub the toilets of the Obama administration.
Of course not.
That was from USA Today.
That's actually. They're very right.
A newspaper that generally doesn't have this kind of editorial.
Yeah, they're just happy-go-lucky.
They
sort of
use
report the weather
vocabulary. They have
just
big graphics. They love graphics, charts and such.
Hey, I like charts too, but I'm not a newspaper. I'm not running a newspaper or a media company.
I mean, they've been around for a long time.
I know. Yeah. Hey, they're like the tabloid newspaper almost, a little bit.
Are there any movies that you're looking to get into, or do you want to watch that are out right now?
It's a hard right turn, but I want to see, obviously, Star Wars. I cannot wait to see that, but I'm going to have to because I refuse to see a matinee viewing with stupid kids yelling at every single thing that happens and eating candy at way too early in the morning and then jumping and asking mom what just happened. I'm not seeing that. That's not my first experience with that movie. I'll see it the second time in the matinee, fine. But I want to see that, obviously. But I also want to see The Disaster Artist. It looked very interesting. And you just saw the classic The Room
yes,
movie,
I did. I watched The Room
we also talked about on the podcast.
Johnny is a real American hero. He does real well to be an American hero. He's loved by all people. I did not do it. I did not hit her. It's bullshit. Hi, Mark.
Look, yeah, I think
this line?
It's gonna be an awesome movie. I thought the trailer really did a really great job of selling me on that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was a really great trailer. One of the few trailers that I actually enjoy because it didn't. I mean, I guess.
The thing is, you know what the subject is.
Yeah,
right?
so maybe
that's
why.
Spoilers, so you're going to enjoy the movie if it's a good movie, and so the trailer showed it was a good movie.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see that. How about you, Yvonne? I don't know.
So there are 3 movies I really want to see right now. 4 actually. Lady Bird.
Okay.
Which is the Greta Gerwig flick. It stars the same Irish actress that was in Brooklyn.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of this movie.
Whose name I can't remember how to pronounce. It's something very Irish.
Oh, shillelagh.
It's pretty much.
Holy.
And there's also this Washington Post movie that's coming out. It's a Spielberg movie with Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, and a couple. Bob Odenkirk is in it from.
It's a ringer of a cast.
Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad. So
he's amazing.
That's
amazing. I like
really great cast with an awesome director, and I can't imagine they would pick a bad.
The Post, right?
It's The Post, I think. Yeah.
And it's about them breaking the story, or the race to break the story about the Vietnam War, right?
It's something like that, yeah.
Yeah, or reporting that the politicians all knew that that war was, that there was no reason to be in Vietnam.
There were fabrications and all this stuff. It might also be Watergate.
I think so. Yeah. So basically, that's what that movie is about. And Steven Spielberg's directing an amazing cast of actors. So I think it's going to be an amazing movie.
Yeah,
I'm sure it is.
The idea is I think one of the important highlights of the movie is going to be how important journalism is to an informed public.
Yeah, and yeah.
It's especially a poignant movie right now.
There's a reason why it's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think just like after Vietnam, how we had movies about how Vietnam vets were treated, like Rambo, you don't think of that, right? But Rambo is about how Vietnam vets were thrown by the wayside because it was a war that people didn't want or America lost.
Right.
So the people coming back weren't respected.
They were not.
You get people like John Rambo, who's lost in the woods and experiencing PTSD and going through that whole thing.
When my dad was a huge activist against the war in the 70s, and he would always he went to a lot of rallies, and he would have, I think he might have given a couple speeches. He was really into anti-war movement, and he would always say that some people give all these long speeches about how the atrocities of this war, obviously they're all right, but he would say the most powerful times and the most powerful speeches that were given were by vets that came back, and they would all they would say is just like, fuck this war, and they would like throw their badges into a fire or something, and that would be it, and that would be the most powerful thing that could get a populace riled up against this war, where the people that actually were there fighting, and they realized there was no point to this war. So obviously there were people who didn't respect the vets, but the anti-war people respected them, I would say, or at least the ones that.
But it's an intriguing thing, because going from how the post-Vietnam era was to where we are today with reactions to the troops and different things, and how you can't talk about war without first stating, first off, let me say I support the troops, and then you can talk about war and different things. It's a really intriguing dynamic of how conversation...
It's being politically correct.
Conversation, right? It's being politically correct. It's how discussions about things have changed.
I don't want to offend you, but I have an opinion. But why are you even... Why are you saying that first? I don't know. Yeah. It's a lot of...
It's a very interesting way of understanding how the dynamic of political conversation has shifted. I think political correctness is a lot of it, but it's also like, if you say something even small that's wrong, look how hard you can get hammered, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, I'm not going to defend Colin Moriarty, but he made a bad, tasteless joke, but because of that, he gets run out of town.
Exactly, right. And
I mean, it's not for me to say that a bad joke is good or bad enough to get you kicked off of a show. Right. For sure, you should be responsible for your actions, but it's also scary to think about the restrictions of freedom of speech and different things. Again, you don't want it to be a hateful speech, but you don't want to shut out voices against you. This is kind of the thing. That guy's an asshole. This is kind of the thing of like,
we don't have both views.
Yeah. If we're shutting out all voices except for people who have a bunch of money or people who are the indie budgets, and then in the common conversation we're not allowed to say things that are even slightly controversial, where is the conversation happening, right? So I think that's why The Post is a really intriguing movie for me, because it talks about different voices, being able to contradict things, being able to talk about
the Post versus
things.
the Times.
Yeah.
Even that conversation. I'm excited for that. I forgot that was coming out, or maybe it's already out by the time this podcast comes out. Do you know what date it comes out?
Beyond me.
But I'm really glad that movie is being made. I heard about it. I can't believe I watched so many clips from like Stephen Colbert. That's how I heard about it, because Tom Hanks was on
You watch a lot of late night clips.
Yeah, no, I like the interviews. I think Stephen Colbert and sometimes Jimmy Fallon get really interesting people to interview.
I like Conan a lot.
I like Conan as well. He's hilarious. I can't believe he's still on television. It's amazing.
I think I watch more clips from Conan than anything else.
He's so funny. He has the Clueless Gamer segment. They played all the games. It's really funny. And they had PewDiePie play a video game with them once.
Was he screaming the N-word the whole time?
No. All right, we won't talk about it.
Speaking of controversial things,
there you go. Well, that one's pretty bad. He shouldn't have said that. That was really dumb.
Yeah, there's a difference between
that and
what we were referring to. But,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then I have two more movies that I'm excited for, but they're two of the movies that you stated already. I really want to see The Last Jedi. I love Luke Skywalker, so having a lot of Luke Skywalker...
You better have some goddamn screen time this time. Swear to God.
I mean, as a kid, I just wanted to be Luke Skywalker.
He's great. He was such a good character.
I like the moral righteousness of a Jedi. I have to say, I don't know whether it's like my parents being brought up in the USSR, that kind of work hard, moral ethic kind of ideology that I grew up with.
Do or do not.
I think Americans really love Han Solo because he's the trickster and stuff.
Han Solo's great.
I'm not going to say I don't really like Han Solo that much, but he's a good character.
I like Harrison Ford.
The thing that I just
like Harrison Ford.
I think Americans really love tricksters, deceitful people, clever people that can swindle you.
Snake oil salesmen?
Yeah. It's like, why do, like in cereal commercials, why does the guy who's on the mascot, like the Trix Bunny, why does he have to trick kids?
Does he exist anymore?
I don't know, he used to. Why does he have to trick kids to get the treats?
those commercials were trippy. They always had him as a cartoon, but it was real life kids, and then they would, I don't know, it's too much. I never liked those commercials. I never liked that cereal. It was a shit cereal. Get rid of Trix cereal.
Well, okay. I'll let Mr. Disney know.
Mr. Disney.
I'm sure he owns it. Mr. Disney, shut it down.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. So yeah, I'm excited to see Luke Skywalker. I had a Luke Skywalker toy when I was a kid.
Nice.
I also had a Han Solo dressed up as a stormtrooper.
I had one of the most random, you know, the droid that in Hoth, the probe droid, looked like it sort of looked like you know the machines in the Matrix, the squid machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sort of looked like that a little bit. I had that toy. That was my Star Wars toy. Yeah, I don't know how I got. Why? I think I must have had like a bootleg Luke Skywalker, you know, in his in the Hoth clothing. That was one of the greatest scenes ever. But just that whole sequence and opening a movie like that was great. But yeah, I think
really
I had that set. I like that one. I like all three. The original trilogy is amazing.
Controversial opinion: Return of the Jedi is the best movie.
I don't disagree with you. I think Empire State Building, Empire Strikes Back I think that one's the best movie. But I like them all. I'm not going to decide. I don't have to fucking choose.
It's true.
I don't have to have an opinion about this. I enjoy them for what they are. I really like A New Hope, actually, because I like Alec Guinness in that movie as Obi-Wan.
See, I rewatched it recently. It drags.
Yeah, it drags. But I still like all of Alec Guinness's lines. I think
Those are not the droids you're looking for.
That's all you need.
I'm super excited for that, and then the Disaster Artist. I had never heard of The Room until the Disaster Artist trailers were coming out.
That is so surprising to me.
It's so surprising
because
to a lot of people.
Love movies.
I do love movies. It's definitely my favorite form of entertainment.
Yeah, I think
besides video games, I think it's video games and movies.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. I do like a good movie though. I don't like TV shows so much, as I've aired plenty of times on this show. I want to have enough time to like TV shows, but I just can't get into them.
I saw Thor Ragnarok in theaters again, brother.
Again?
Yeah.
That was the second time.
Not just as funny, CG, but funny.
It was
just the
funny.
CG. But I care more about...
Surprisingly, they didn't change that.
I care more about the dialogue.
Yeah, no.
Also, Mark Ruffalo was still just as confusing.
Oh, good old Mark Ruffalo. He's a great actor.
He's a great actor. I feel like we're
rambling on. We've rambled on so many different topics. This is a very unorganized...
It's a road trip.
It's a road trip.
You talk about everything on a road trip.
Yeah, so tell us in the comment section below. I think we can't talk about any more things. In the comment section below, if you like this podcast, and if you really did, you can go ahead and tell us how much you liked it by subscribing to us and writing us an iTunes review. That would be really awesome. And I hope you guys enjoy this format. If you did like it, tell us if you want to see more of it, and maybe I can travel up to Syracuse a little more often, and we'll just drive around doing a podcast instead of recording videos. Even though we're recording a video right now, because this is also on YouTube at Hungover Gaming. If you're just checking it out on because you thought this was Car Talk, and because we called it Car Talk, got them all, clickbait bitches. But yeah, we end our podcast every single week in a song in a segment called Hungover Radio. This is where you, the viewer or listener, can send in your music to us at gaminghungover@gmail.com. All the information's in the link, the description below, all our contact information. Get in contact, send in your music, a song you wrote or co-produced, or your friend perhaps did the same. Maybe your friends and you are on the same song. That would be pretty cool.
Wow.
Send it in. We'd like to share it with the Hungover Gaming community. You'll get all the clicks, don't worry. We'll put your link in the description below, and it will be playing in the audio portion, but we'll link out in the video portion of the podcast. So go ahead and send it in. I don't have a song currently because we're on the road.
Is there a Final Fantasy 15 driving song?
Yes, there is.
Let's put that one in.
We'll do that. We're throwing in a Final Fantasy. There are actually quite a few. Actually, the really cool thing... Oh, that game was really awesome. I love that game. I don't know. A lot of people hated that game. I think
you cooled
I really
on that
liked
game.
it. Yeah, I really like that game.
Okay.
It's really awesome. So what you can do while you're driving, because you can't fast travel in that game, they make you drive, which is really funny. But while you're driving, you can play all the they have like a backlog of Final Fantasy game songs, and you can listen to them.
That's awesome.
The battle theme
Final
from
Fantasy
Final
Radio.
Fantasy 7. Yeah, it is Final Fantasy Radio. So I'll pick one that I like. So whenever we don't get a song, which is every single week, except for one, we got one submission, which was really awesome. Shout outs to... I remember his name. He doesn't watch any of our videos anymore, so he gets no shout out. Tell us in the comment section below if you need a shout out.
Word.
But yeah. But oh god, I forgot his name. His screen name. It was Skullmaster. Skullmaster 44, I think.
Was it Skullmaster 5000?
5,900. I can't remember the number. It was definitely Skullmaster. But yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, we'll play a Final Fantasy song. Hope you guys enjoy the song, and I hope you guys enjoy this format, and hopefully the audio wasn't too shitty.
Yes, hopefully. Peace out,
Catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Tales dormit and leave